Hi guys, welcome to my channel again with your host Sarah, me. I hope you're in the midst of overcoming some things and winning this year 2021 and beyond. Where I am right now, it's snowing. I'm over it already. My heart and my prayers and my thoughts go out to those in Texas right now because I know they're going through a lot in some other parts of the United States. I'm just praying everything goes well for you and you come out of this on the other side because it's been a lot. This is only February. It's the 19th today? Yeah, the 19th, 2021. There's just a lot going on and I'm just over the snow like you all are, well, wherever you are as well. And over COVID. But I'm believing that COVID is it's coming to the end in terms of, we are having these vaccines coming out. So even in my job, they are talking about offering vaccines. So I'm really happy that we are all going to get protected, right? But anyway, the topic of today is how to forgive others and let go of hurts and pains. Like many of you, the closest people often, or the people that you trusted or you thought highly of oftentimes, may disappoint you, hurt you, or just mistreat you. And it's oftentimes very hard for you to just forgive them and let go. There is a false mindset that forgiving somebody means that you're letting them off the hook. Forgiveness is a spiritual law. Those of you who are Christians know of the our Lord's Prayer, where it goes like, Lord, forgive me as I've forgiven others. That's a spiritual law. Lord, forgive me as I've forgiven others. The readings I've done is that when you don't forgive somebody, God actually cancels the forgiveness of sins that he had for you. So if you go to that Lord's Prayer, it's again a spiritual law. Lord, forgive me as I've forgiven others. Now imagine if you don't forgive, you don't get the forgiveness from God. And there's a lot of repercussions that happen spiritually that you may not even realize as a result of non-forgiveness. I mean, basically you open yourself up to attack is a spiritual thing that happens. You open yourself up to like misfortunes, people just even acting negative towards you even more, So when you see negative patterns in your life, ask yourself a question. Am I holding any non-forgiveness? Am I holding any grudge towards anybody? Because God, the universe, okay, that he controls, spiritual law is if you want good for you, you've got to let go and forgive others so that he can forgive you as well. And all will be well with you in this world that we live in. So I thought it was really important for me just to share some simple ideas for you to consider about forgiveness and how to forgive and just basically live a peaceful life and a life where you're attracting goodness in your life and not repeating the same pattern over and over again. I mean, I'm sure you can think of examples going into, I don't know, a relationship. You keep attracting the wrong kind of person. And you have to ask yourself, why do you keep attracting the wrong kind of person? You have to consider, have you forgiven everything that the previous person did, your ex? Have you truly just said to yourself, you know what? It happened. I'm going to forgive them because of love, divine love. I'm just going to let them go. If you're not really conscious, if you've not gotten to a place to say, okay, he or she did this, this, and this, but I'm not going to let this continue, this energy, negative thoughts, thinking, feelings about them to continue. If you don't get conscious about that, you will go into another relationship or another situation. It could be a job situation. You go from one job to another thinking it's the people. But if you haven't let go of ill feelings or bad feelings from the previous person or the previous situation, it's going to follow you. Because the universe has a way of teaching us a lesson, and we're going to continue being asked to take the same lesson until we learn from that lesson, and especially key to forgive all those who are involved, okay? So forgiveness, as I mentioned earlier, is not really about doing good for the other person. Not completely anyway, not completely. But the biggest thing is for you to have this peace of mind. When you forgive, you are giving up something. You've given up that negative situation or that negative experience with that person for something better. So that's what forgiveness is. Forgive. You're giving up something that was that caused you discomfort for something better. Okay. Again, forgiveness is giving up that person, those bad thoughts, those bad feelings, those ill feelings that you've been meditating on. You're giving that up, okay, for something better, something more comforting, something you can laugh about, something you can testify about, something that's joyful, that can bring other people joy as well. You're giving it up. So you're replacing it. So it's a very conscious internal act that can translate to externally. But I really want you to understand the benefit of forgiveness, okay? Because once you can let go of that thing, you undoubtedly will draw onto you something better, okay? So one thing I understood about when people, well, basically to help me to forgive, is when people do mistreat you or hurt you for one reason or another, there's something missing in their lives. Something's missing in their lives. I mean, think about it. Why would somebody full of love or content with life want to do something mean towards you? Why? So what I'm trying to say is that if you're finding it hard to forgive someone, whether a parent, a sibling, a colleague, a bestie, your husband, your wife, or an ex-lover, or your current lover, or someone in the church, just have that a little compassion for them and just understand that there's something missing in their life. And if they truly knew what they were doing to you, or really what they're doing to themselves spiritually, they wouldn't do that. I have to believe in that divine consciousness within every person to know that if they truly understood how they're hurting themselves and how they're hurting you really, and for them to realize there's something actually missing in my life, that's why I'm being mean to this person or inadvertently being mean, they wouldn't do that. Because I just remember, again, scripturally in the Bible where Jesus Christ said on the cross, he said to our Heavenly Father, forgive them, for they know not what they're doing. And oftentimes we don't know what we're doing when we do something mean to someone or we withdraw from somebody. If we truly understood the deep hurt that is, not just towards that person, but internally, there's an unrest. Think about when you've been mean to someone, or just, you're just not feeling that person for one reason or another. You have an internal unrest. You yourself are not at peace. You yourself are not at peace. So when you're struggling to forgive someone, just take a moment to think that person is struggling with something as well. This is why they did that to you. They're missing something in their life. They are deeply hurt by something. And honestly, they're struggling. There's an internal battle because no one just screams and yells at you or God knows whatever if they don't have an internal struggle going on. So I'm appealing to you to have compassion to those that you're struggling to forgive. They're going through something. May has nothing to do with you. Maybe something you just triggered in them, but there's an internal battle going on in that person, okay? So you should find some strength to be like, you know what? That person's gone through enough. Me holding on to a grudge and unforgiveness, I don't need to add issue in my life or their life. They're going through enough. If you could have that mindset, right? All right. And another thing too, what I realized actually just recently about what made things even easier to forgive, because I like to just think about different mental, emotional breakthroughs I have. And something that dropped in my spirit whereby when people do things that appear to be so unforgiving, You know, it could be that it could even be really minor things like them just ignoring you for one reason or another. You may be reaching out to them and they're just straight up ignoring you, and you're like, you know what? I'm gonna do it to them. When people do things that are just disrespectful, do not even honor your person, I mean, not only does it mean that they are truly disrespectful to themselves or unloving to themselves, they also actually in a way want your attention. Think about it. And wait, okay, let me bring an example of someone I don't know, ignoring you for one reason or another. They want you to know that they're ignoring you. They won't say nothing. You get those people that won't say nothing to you, but they want you in the very passive aggressive nature. They want your attention. They want you to react. They want you to get riled up, even though they are not saying nothing to you, and they think like, you know, they haven't done anything. No one's heard them speak verbally. You know, it's all quiet from their side of the neck of the woods. But then you react, oh, you're not talking to me, da da da. Don't be fooled for that trick. They want your attention, negative attention, because they hurt. Something inside of them is just a little off. They also hurt as well. I'll use the word they hurt somewhere, but they also want your attention. So again, when someone speaks at you in response to something that they believe that you did and it's real bad, not only are they telling you their piece, what they feel, but they want your attention. So then you have to ask yourself in terms of forgiveness. You may not like what they say, what they're doing subliminally, but you know why it's important to forgive them? Because I got to a place where you have to say to yourself, I no longer want to respond or react to that negative thing. I'm no longer going to give audience to negativity. I'm not going to give you negative. I'm not going to give you attention to that negative. I'm just not. If you want to come with another story, some positive, that's great. But I no longer want to use my energy to give any negative press, okay? And I know you want attention from me, but this is not how you're going to get it. So you have to forgive them in terms of like, they don't know what else to do. They don't know. And you get those people in your life. It could be family, it could be a bestie, it could be a colleague, it could be someone you're in a relationship with. They keep doing the same negative thing all the time. They want your attention. So in other words, I'm trying to say again, have that compassion, that empathy, but don't give any more attention to the negativity if you can. Okay, find another way. Don't react anymore, because it's gonna make you find it really hard to forgive them. But if you could just remember that that person that hurt you or said something bad to you or straight up ignored you, they want your attention, negative attention, and you're not going to give them negative attention. You're going to say, I forgive you. I empathize with you. I know you have some internal struggles right now. I know you want my attention right now. You may want some love. You may want a hug. You may want some positive affirmation, but you're going to have to take a deep breath and figure out how else you're going to do this with me, because I no longer want to have relationships like this. You see? Forgiveness. Because if you keep responding back to their negative attention, you're going to give negative. It's going back and forth, negative, negative. And you can't solve something positive with the same negative reactions. You see? Okay. And lastly, what's also helped me with the really understanding forgiveness more is that whatever that person has done, not done, said, not said, once you can forgive them and understand in the psychology of forgiveness that, okay, you've shown me who you are, you've shown me your capacity, you've shown me what you can do. Like, read people really well, because whatever they're showing you, believe them. So if you don't want to get hurt again or disappointed, just have the consciousness that, okay, you did it to me this time, but you won't get a way to do this with me next time. Because there's always a new day. There's always another event. There's always another gathering. There's always another conversation. There's always another decision to make. They did it yesterday, but if you could just say to yourself, you won't do this again to me today, the next day, because I no longer will put myself in the situation that I allowed you to do this to me. You see? And that also has helped me to forgive them, to forgive yesterday, to forgive the past. Because now I'll be walking more in consciousness, more cautious, use some wisdom more. And even though you forgive them, doesn't mean that person has changed, right? So you're going to have to think at least 10 times before making a decision with this particular person or situation, so you won't get hurt again or disappointed again. You know, so you won't be harboring ill feelings and struggling to forgive and let go of those hurt feelings and let go of them. You see? So please consider this, that yes, they hurt you yesterday. Yes, they hurt you about an hour ago, but they're not going to hurt you in the next hour. They're not going to hurt you the next day. Why? Because you've made the decision consciously that you know them more now. You know what they can do and what they can't do, and believe them. Don't try and concoct what they should be doing. Accept people for who they are and walk cautiously, walk in wisdom with them. Okay, and this is how you can still maintain friendships if you still can, or this is how you can actually still maintain your relationship, your marriage, you know, if it's all possible. When you're able to just say, okay, fine, you did that, you didn't know better, but you're not going to do it again. All right. And the thing about forgiveness is that when you hold unforgiveness mentally, it's a cosmic link. I read somewhere there's a cosmic link between you and that other person. And because if you continue thinking negative towards them, they're also receiving that negative signals, and they'll continue doing the same thing. They'll continue to do the same thing. But when you are a forgiving person, you're actually walking in love. You're walking in love. That's like the most beautiful thing about the nature of love and being able to just have a peaceful life in general, is to not allow people to get to you so much that you are holding all this emotional, psychological, negative baggage. It just makes life harder. You won't be able to make decisions clearly because you're always thinking about the negative hurt. But it's a new day. It's a new day. If you could just say to yourself, it's a new day. They won't do this again to me today. I forgive you. I let you go. I know you have internal struggles. Sorry, I couldn't help you. Sorry, I triggered something. You know, you don't have to tell them this directly, but within yourself in your meditative time. And I also challenge you as you're forgiving them, okay, just so that they won't do any more negative towards you. Something that Jesus Christ teaches is for us to also send love towards them. If you can actually do a kind act of love, do it. If the opportunity arises or something intuitively says you should do something, do it, you know, and bless them and pray for them, because we don't want negative people around us. We don't want people negative walking around the world. I mean, my mission in life is just to be enlightened and help other people to be enlightened as well. And I believe you watching this is also part of your mission as well. So bless those people that hurt you. Send your divine love to them. Let them go cosmically so you can attract your blessing. Because that's another thing about unforgiveness that you don't realize. If you don't give up that negativity, remember, giving up for something better, that blessing, you hold up that blessing. That blessing that can come from north, east, south, or west. If you don't forgive, like truly forgive with love, with all the things I've talked about to consider, you're holding up your blessing. you're holding up another person that's meant to open their hands to bless you. You're actually cosmically shutting that person's hand because you didn't forgive that other person. Remember, I told you about the Lord's Prayer. It's a spiritual law. Once you ask God to forgive you, he does, but you have to forgive the other person. If you can't forgive the other person, he cancels your forgiveness that he gives you freely, especially if you're a child of God. So it's really, really important to be mindful of these spiritual law of forgiveness and the negativity of unforgiveness. Anyway, that's it for now. I hope this helped you. Please share your thoughts. Share this with anyone that you think that really would benefit from this. This would be really such a blessing from you to them. And feel free to like my video, especially if it's helped you, and subscribe. And I'll see you on the next video. Bye for now.